What's happening? If you were like me, you most probably spent your weekend binging on Netflix presents Marvel's Iron Fist. And a lot of people have been disappointed. And at first, even before I started on the series, I seen reviews and stuff, and it had negative feedback, and I was like, I'm still gonna watch it, man. I'm still gonna watch it. And I watched the whole thing, and it was like, was it doomed from the start? Was it crushed by expectations? Because every Netflix show from Marvel has been good, and it kept progressing. It started off with Daredevil. Daredevil was great for what it was. But Daredevil, he was getting his ass mollywop first season. So his fighting wasn't the greatest in the world. Then they moved on to Jessica Jones. I'm thinking that I have the order right. The order right. So it moved on to Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones was great. Loved that. It was a great series. Then it moved on to Daredevil season 2. They upped the ante. Daredevil was better with his powers and stuff, and he was a better fighter. They introduced Punisher. It went up that much. Then came with Luke Cage, and Luke Cage just set the bar up here. Homeboy came off Luke Cage and went on to win an Oscar. So that's the cast that it had. They had an Oscar winning cast. Had Leonard Woodard or whatever. I don't know. But they had a great cast of characters, and it was just a great show. And then we look forward to The Last Defender, Iron Fist. And going off my own thing, the series it went like this. It started off kind of high. Then by episode 2, when he was in the mental institution, and they just kicking his ass like it ain't nothing. Like the people, he was drugged or whatever, but they was like, open your mouth, put it in, the drugs in. He's walking around with the other guy, and just no fight with him. They just grabbing him and doing what they want. Like, you are a super hero. Marvel. I'm pretty sure you're not gonna watch this video, but if you do, get up on here. And if anybody from Marvel just looks at any random videos and you come onto my video, I would love for any of y'all to come on my video and look, give me a job as a in y'all marketing department, or just production, in just tightening up the storylines and stuff. Look, if you're gonna have a superhero and his superpower is his fist, and he is a great kung fu fighter, you can't have ordinary people kicking his ass. Like, there were times on Iron Fist when he would just get to a point, and it would be like when Colleen Wing, she went at him and stuff, and like just in a training aspect, and she couldn't touch him. And she was one of the best fighters on the show. Every time, whenever she was in a situation, when she went in the cage fighting and stuff, she was kicking ass of these big gigantic dudes and stuff, and she beat her sensei. That's later on and everything, but she beat the hand, everything, and she was kicking ass. Like, there were times on Iron Fist, when Iron Fist, the star of the show, he went into situations when he went breaking the scientists out of the 18-wheeler. A random person that was in there watching the scientists served him his lunch. Just was beating the brakes off Iron Fist. Iron Fist ended up winning. I guess you could say he won. There had times when he went investigating the hand and stuff, and he was trying to go find, they was making the heroin and stuff, and they had the drunken master, the drunken dude on watching the door and stuff, beat the hell out of him and just mocked him while he was doing it. But then later on, he went in situations where he fought Colleen Wing's her sensei, and he was supposed to be like one of the best fighters, and he was whipping him. Then he fought the other dude that was from Kung Lung or whatever, and he was training to be the Iron Fist, but Danny I forgot his name, Danny whatever. He wound up fighting with Danny, and he was training to be the Iron Fist, and Danny bust his ass. But it wasn't consistent. And another thing I didn't care for in the show, I'm going to my dislikes and stuff first, and it did grow on me eventually. But there were things that I just disapproved of. His fighting and stuff. That was an aspect. Like, it picked up towards the end. But and another thing towards the fighting aspect was your fist. It's an iron fist. I haven't read all his comic books or something. Not even a majority of his comic books, but I have read books with him, and to my knowledge, him charging his fist and stuff, it takes his chi or whatever, but it isn't to the level where he can't. I'm so drained from using my fist. Like, I'm pretty sure he can't use it 24/7, but he would get like one good punch in, and it was done. Like, he would punch a wall and break through the wall, and I don't think he ever punched anybody on the show. Like, his biggest thing, his biggest power and stuff, they had opportunities to use it. He never really used. He used it like to block bullets or block a sword or a metal object or something like that. But he never used it to punch somebody. Like, there was a time they were in a hallway, him and the guy from Kung Lung or whatever, and they were in a hallway and they got jumped on by a massive pile of people, and you couldn't even see them, and they wound up like breaking out. The producers of the show, don't y'all think that would have been a good time just to see, like, everybody piled on him and you just see like a little bit of glow, and him just and you see that, like, the glow come out? Like, that would have been a perfect situation for him to be able to use his fist against humans or something. I could feel like it's not rated R or whatever. I don't know if it was or not. I know Rosario Dawson was like, y'all are effed up. So I'm pretty sure it probably wasn't rated R. But I know they probably didn't want him just punching people, because he punching through walls or something. So if he punched a human, they probably explode him. But they could have maybe had a bigger villain that he was able to fight. Then another thing, whenever the sensei was showing him footage of an older Iron Fist, that old Iron Fist was bad to the mug. He had 2 Iron Fists, and he was quick with it, doing all kind of stuff. Danny Rain, I guess that's his name, Danny Wayne, shit. He couldn't control his chi in this and that. And my last thing that I have an issue with on it, the beginning of the show, it started off, and he was so nice. Like, he was just such a nice soul, and he was coming into New York, and he was so naive and this and that, and he had like a calmness about him. He been in the monastery and stuff for 15 years, raised by monks and this and that. So you would think he would have some kind of calm and this and that with him, and he carried himself like that. But as the show progressed, it's like he lost all his focus, and he was crazy. Towards the end of the show, he was I'm gonna get revenge. Like, you are the Iron Fist. He had to pass tests and stuff for him to get, and not a written test or something. He had to pass test through fire, and he been in situations like, as far as my knowledge, when he was training to be the Iron Fist, and into the he went into the cave, and he had to fight like his worst fear or something, and he conquered that. But when he was on the show, he didn't have any conquering of in his stuff. Anytime they brought up his father or the Meachums doing him dirty or whatever, like, he would just lose his mind whenever he found out that girl was in the hand and stuff. Like, he just, oh, he was crazy. Iron Fist is basically a monk. When do you see monks just losing it? I remember, I'm gonna show my age with this. I'm gonna go back in time. But any of y'all remember David Carradine? Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. And they had, like, I think they had like an old show back in the days or something. But I remember they used to have the show on Fox. And he would walk, and he would go in situations. He had a son that was a cop. And he was like an old Shaolin monk or whatever, but he was in the world now. He was so calm, and his fighting style, it was just, he was like a calm Steven Seagal. He was just with his hands just, but that was how you would think a monk would carry themselves. I'm not saying he needs to be like that, because in the comic books, if you read like Power Man and Iron Fist, he's more of a clown type character or whatever. He does clown and stuff like that, but he should be a little more serious, or, well, not serious, a little more calm, be able to calm himself. That's issues that I had with the show. The positives about the show, when they did have good fight scenes, they were pretty good. The writing on it was, they had issues with it. But then they had like little plot. They had a lot of plot twists. Like, you thought the hand was this and that. Then homegirl wound up being in the hand. Then you think that the hand killed his parents and stuff all this time. And you find out it's somebody else. Then it's somebody else. Then you find out, oh, so and so killed it. So it's a lot of ups and downs. So it keeps you engaged. And I think it progresses, because, to be honest, when you binge like on a Netflix show, for the most part, even if it's not a Marvel show, they always put out their stuff, like, for the majority, they put out the whole season at once, so you get to binge on your stuff, and you watching it, and you like, oh, I can't wait till the next one, and then you be like, well, I guess I'm gonna go to sleep. Ah, damn, man, that ending was so good, I gotta watch the next one. So you wind up watching like 5-6 hours of episodes for, I know that's kind of like my mind frame. That's like, I watch them. And this one right here, to be honest, I just wanted to get through it. For like the first 9 episodes, I watched it, and I was like, I can't wait to finish this. I can't wait to finish this. Is just, I'm like, cause he was just getting his ass whipped, and I was like, man, you supposed to be a superhero. Like, man, I'm getting sick of this, and you not using your Iron Fist. So I was like, hurry it up. Let's get it. Then later on, around 10, 11, 12, 13, around the last episodes, I was more engaged. Like, I think I started on like 10 tonight, episode 10, like after The Walking Dead. So The Walking Dead comes on 8 o'clock or whatever. So by 9 o'clock, I started on this. No, I'm lying. It was like not earlier than that, but earlier episodes. It probably was like episode 8 or something, because it's 3 a.m. right now. I just finished. It's 3:11 a.m. So I finished at like 2:50 something. And I've been watching them since about 9 o'clock. So it was some earlier episodes before 10. But I was gonna stop at like 10 or 11, episode 10 or 11, and cause I was real tired earlier. I'm tired now, but I wanted to do this video while it was kind of fresh in my mind, and I was thinking about like finishing, just going to sleep or whatever, and I was gonna just finish it another day or whatever. But then I was like, I'm so close to the end, and it was actually engaging. They actually had storylines that I wanted to find out about. Like I wanted to find out who killed his parents and what he would do. And he had lost his iron fist. He lost his chi was messed up. So I wanted to see how he got that back. And the girl wound up being in the hand, and I wanted to see what that story was gonna be like. I thought they was gonna have to fight or anything, but they wound up getting together. And the way it ends, the cliffhanger, like after everything, like that's gonna be interesting right there. But Defenders is coming next. I look forward to Defenders. That's gonna be Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. That's gonna be should be pretty good. But Marvel, should I say they let us down with Iron Fist? For the bar that they set, like it's like you go watch LeBron James, you pay. I'm in Louisiana, so say I go spend all kind of money on a Pelicans game, and LeBron is playing. I want to see LeBron so bad, and you know most of the times LeBron on the road he sits, he don't even play. But let's say he does play, and I spend $1,000 for courtside seats. I doubt they 1,000 at Pelicans Arena, but I spent $1,000 for courtside seats to see LeBron, and I watch him. He gets 12 points in 2 thunderous dunks. So the thunderous dunks were nice, but he had 12 points. Maybe he twisted an ankle. He got out in the second quarter or whatever. That is how I felt about Iron Fist. Like I felt there were moments. He had a few slam dunks to keep the metaphor going, but a lot of times he shot the air balls. He dribbled it off his foot. So there were a lot of empty moments and moments that it was just disappointing. That old lady, she was a character. The one that, with the hand, like she was very manipulative or something. I kind of would have liked her as she kind of was the main villain to a certain extent, but I would like to be a little more as the main villain. It turned out to be kind of the Meacham. The Meacham man was kind of the main villain towards the end. There is a lot of spoilers on here. I'm all over the place, so even if you watch, you might not know what I'm talking about for the majority. Well, you should, but it's spoilers. But I'm kind of not even going chronologically. I'm just going everywhere. I'm just giving my thoughts on random things. I'm freestyling right here. But overall, it was a decent show, but it didn't live up to the Marvel standard. The Marvel standard of the character. And a lot of characters in the show they weren't consistent with. And there were things in the show I didn't like. Like when Danny first came to New York and nobody believed him. Like everybody was like, man, fuck you. You ain't Danny. You ain't Danny. Like, we still believe Tupac is alive. If you see a dude that looks like Tupac, we go, oh, that's Pac. And without even no question. So there was not one person who believed that he was really Danny. Even though he left when he was a little boy. Yes, granted, a lot of people change their appearance. Some people don't look how they looked at 10 years old and they 25 years old or whatever. But they had people he grew up with and was close with, and nobody believed him at all. Like, that was crazy. That was crazy right there. His psychological thing, going from so calm and so nice of a guy to a crazy berserker towards the end of the show. The Meacham, the son, was the biggest asshole in the world at the beginning of the show. He winds up being a nice guy towards the end. The girl, Colleen Wing, or whatever her name is, she winds up like she doesn't really want to deal with Danny at the beginning. But it was Mike Jones' situation. Like, now I'm hot, you all on me. Back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot, you all on me. Because she acknowledged him at the beginning, and she gave him some money or something. He was homeless. She thought he was homeless. And she, like, pretty much dissed him. But then he winds up being Danny Rain or whatever. And he's a billionaire. And whenever she was training Rosario Dawson, the night nurse. And whenever he walks in, and she's like, "Oh, Danny," like she's just all right. Now he's a billionaire. Now you just so in love with him. Like the beginning when he didn't have shoes, she wasn't worried about him. He wasn't nothing. And then her arc was so up and down, and she winds up being the hand. Like, the only consistent character in the show was Rosario Dawson. Like, she keeps her stuff flat. Like she's consistent. And it was cool how they kept throwing the little gems in there. Like, she kept saying "Sweet Christmas." Like, y'all know that Luke Cage says that all the time and stuff. But let me stop right now. I've probably been talking about 20 minutes or whatever. But the show was straight, but it was about, I give it a 6 out of 10, and maybe that's being nice, just because I'm a comic book nerd and I love that nerd shit. But gotta do better. Well, damn, I talked so long, my battery died on the camera, so I hope that last footage all carried on, all got it, because I sure would hate to do all that talking again, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be saved on the camera. But I'm done. Gonna be the greatest of the most hated. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out. Look forward to the Defenders. Spider-Man coming out. Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel has things dropping, so hopefully it's pretty good. And y'all let me know in the comment section if you did sit down and watch this whole video and this ranting and stuff. Let me know what y'all thought of the series, and y'all positives and negatives, and have a little bit of conversation. I want to see y'all thoughts on it and see if it's consistent with what I was seeing on the internet. But holla at your boy.